Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in this video we are going to learn how to create customer.io customer on Jotform submission. So here I've created a form using Jotform, and in this case I want whenever a new form submission is made, automatically using that detail a new customer should be created in my customer.io account. So to automate this process, we will use an automation software named as Pabbly Connect, in which we need to connect a trigger and an action. So in this process, our trigger application will be Jotform and our action application will be customer.io. So to learn this process step by step, let me take you to my screen. Welcome to my screen. So in this video, we are going to learn how to create a new customer in customer.io account on Jotform submission. So in this case, I want whenever a new form submission is made in my Jotform, automatically using that details, a new customer should be created in my customer.io account. So to automate this process, we will use an automation software named as Pabbly Connect. This is the homepage of Pabbly Connect. You can visit this page by simply browsing for the URL pabbly.com/connect. Here you can see two options that are sign in and sign up free. If you're a new user, click on sign up free and get free 100 tasks every month to explore the software. And if you're an existing user, click on sign in. Here I'm an existing user, so I'm clicking on sign in. After signing in, you can see all Pabbly apps window where you can see all the applications of Pabbly. Here to integrate my applications, I'm going to use Pabbly Connect. This is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here you can see a create workflow button on the top right corner. Here to create a new workflow, I'm going to click on this button. Now here in this create workflow dialog box, we have to give a name to our workflow. So here I'm going to give the name as create customer.io customer on Jotform submission. And now I'm going to select my folder as automations. You can select your folder as per your need. Also, you can create multiple folders to save your workflows accordingly. And now to create a new workflow, I'm going to click on this create button. Now here in this workflow window, you can see we have successfully created a workflow with the name create customer.io customer on Jotform submission. And here you can see two most important principles of an automation process, that are trigger and action. Where trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means action is a response towards a trigger. Your automation can have a single trigger but multiple action steps. Now let's begin with our automation by simply setting up a trigger. So here I'm going to select my trigger application as Jotform and my trigger event as new response. And here you can see we have received a webhook URL. That means we will use this webhook URL to connect our Jotform with Pabbly Connect. So here, following the instructions given below, I have already logged in my Jotform account. From here I'm going to select my desired form, and from here I'm going to click on this more. And now here under form I'm going to click on the settings. Now here in form settings I'm going to select integrations. And under integration, I'm going to select my desired integration, that is webhooks. Here I'm going to click on this edit integration. And from here, I'm going to remove this previously existing link. Moving back to Pabbly window, here I'm going to copy this webhook URL. Moving back to Jotform, here I'm going to enter the new webhook URL. Now after entering the new webhook URL, here I'm going to click on this complete integration. And here you can see it says integration ready. And now I'm going to click on this finish. And then I'm going to click on this preview form. Now let's move back to Pabbly window. And here you can see as it is waiting for webhook response. That means here to receive a webhook response, we need to do a test submission. And to do a test submission, we need to submit a new response in our Jotform. So for that, let me take you back to my Jotform. So here I'm going to enter a dummy data and do a test submission. So here for the name, I'm going to enter the first name as dummy, last name as user, email as dummy123@pabblytudes.com, a random phone number, and now I'm going to click on this submit. And here you can see it says your submission has been received. So now let's go and check our Pabbly window. And here you can see we have successfully captured a response where we have received the email address, last name, first name, and other details. So with this, we have successfully set up a trigger. Now let's move to action step. Here I'm going to select my action application as customer.io. And my action event as create a customer. And now to connect my customer.io account with Pabbly Connect, here I'm going to click on this connect. Here to build a new connection, I'm going to select add new connection. If your customer.io account is already connected with Pabbly Connect, then you can click on select existing connection. And now here to build a new connection, it is asking me to give a name to my connection. So here I'm going to give the name as Jotform. And then here it is asking for site ID and API key. So here, following the instructions given below, here I've already logged in my customer.io account. From here, I'm going to click on the settings, and under settings, I'm going to select account settings. Now here under account settings, I'm going to select API credentials. And here you can see we have received the site ID and API key. So here I'm going to copy the site ID first. Moving back to Pabbly window, here I'm going to enter the site ID. Now moving back to customer.io account, here I'm going to copy the API key. Moving back to Pabbly window, here I'm going to paste the API key. Now after entering all the details, I'm going to click on the save. And here you can see we are successfully connected. So now moving forward, here it is asking for ID. So here instruction it says enter the unique identifier for the customer to create or update the customer. So for that, let me take you to the trigger response we have received. So here in the response you can see we have received a submission ID. So the submission ID will be our unique ID through which our contact will be identified. So here in our action step, so here instead of entering the ID manually, here I will map the ID. Mapping data means insert data from previous step. That means here we will map the data from the response we have received in our Jotform. Mapping makes our text dynamic so that whenever a new form response is received, automatically this previously existing details will be updated with the new one. So here for the unique ID, I'm going to map the submission ID. Moving forward, and here it is asking for email address. So here I'm going to map the email address. Now after entering the email address, here for the attributes it says to add attributes, press the plus button and enter the key in the first input box and value in the second box. Example, first input box first name and second input box John Doe. So here to add new attributes, I'm going to click on this plus button. And here you can see we have received two fields that are label and value. So here for the label, I'm going to enter the label as first name. And here for the value, I'm going to map the value for the first name. And now here I'm going to add another attribute. And here for the label, I'm going to enter the label name as last name. And here I'm going to map the value for the last name. Now here I'm going to add another label which will be our last label, that is phone number. And here I'm going to map the value for the phone number. So here I'm done entering all the details and now I'm going to click on save and send test request. And here you can see we have received a successful response. So now let's go and check our customer.io account. And here you can see we have successfully created a new customer with the email address as dummy123@pabblytudes.com. Now let me open this. And here you can see we have successfully received all the details, that is first name as dummy, last name as user and a random phone number. So with this we have successfully set up our automation. Now let's test our automation to check whether it is working or not. So to test our automation, we need to submit a new response in our Jotform. And for that, let me take you back to my lead form. Here I'm going to refresh this window. And here I'm going to enter another dummy data and do a test submission. So for the first name, here I'm going to enter the name as test, last name as user, email as test123@pabblytudes.com and a random phone number. And now I'm going to click on the submit. And here you can see it says your submission has been received. So now let's go and check our customer.io account. Moving back. And here you can see we have successfully created a new customer with the email address as test123@pabblytudes.com. And here you can see we have received all the information, that is first name as test, last name as user and a random phone number. So with this we have successfully tested our automation. Now let me summarize this whole video for you. So here we have taken a trigger as Jotform and an action as customer.io so that whenever a new response is captured in a Jotform, automatically using that details, a new customer will be created in a customer.io account. If you want to use the same workflow, then you can find the clone link in the description box below. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Not only these applications, you can integrate many other applications with Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubt, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any query, you can contact us on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, then you can contact us on www.pabbly.com. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends.